Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's workshop. All right, it's so nice to have you all here. We're gonna wait just a minute or two just so that we can let everybody populate, and then I will get completely started on our topic for this morning. So I'll just wait about 40 more seconds. Everybody come on in, join us here. Remember, we're doing a watch party, so click the video with the purple blinking border, okay? Come on in, come on in. Come on in, everybody. Let's get started. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, and we're back, guys. So this morning, the topic of our workshop is dressing for success. All right. So we would like for you all just a couple of announcements and reminders before we begin, just like usual. Okay. So let me just fast forward because I've already passed some of that stuff. All right. So just a reminder, guys, we would like you all for us to join us by clicking on the video with the blinking purple border on our page. So if you're watching the video with no blinking border, please join us above or below for the watch party. Sometimes it comes up in different places depending on what post was made first, second, third, etc. Okay? Next, we want to appreciate you guys. We appreciate you guys for participating as always. Whether it's during workshop time from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. every Tuesday and Thursday, or whether you watch the video at a later time, right? Whatever works for you guys. Just a reminder, if the video is giving you difficulties and you're watching it on an iPad, please try to watch it either on a computer or a phone. This may help with you accessing the watch party to be able to join us, okay? So if you're having trouble accessing the watch party on your iPad, which I do sometimes, please try on your phone or on your computer to watch with us, all right? Perfect. Remember, guys, also please join us for the discussion afterwards, okay? It's a good time for us to get social, for you to tell us your thoughts and opinions, okay? And remember, please like our video after watching it. Now, let's get started for today. There we go. Oh, this is gonna be fun. I'm moving two mouses now that I'm back in the office. So let's begin with a review of last Tuesday's workshop, everybody. Okay? My question to you guys is, what was the topic from last week's workshop? You have 2 minutes starting now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very good, you guys. So yes, the topic of last week's workshop was the video about interview tips, okay? 5 best last minute interview tips. Very good, guys, and hope the tips were useful. If you didn't get a chance to watch the video, we've posted it on our Facebook page, so feel free to take a look at it anytime you would like to, okay? It was a pretty good and insightful video. Very enjoyable. All right. So, our objective today for today's workshop is to the objective or point, okay, of today's workshop will help you recognize the importance of dressing well for job interviews as well as at work. We will begin by discussing the interview aspect of dressing for success. All right. Plan ahead. It's important to plan ahead in preparation for your interview or your first day of work. Here are some reasons why. 1, your attire portrays your attitude about the job and your personality, right? So if you're somebody who likes to dress up in vibrant and very colorful clothes, you can definitely think that, oh, that's somebody that really likes color, right? If you see somebody who has writing on their shirts all the time, and maybe somebody who always wants to put out a message or just likes writing with their clothes on it, right? If you see a professional, somebody who's working in a business and sits in an office all day, most of the time they're also in their business attire, and it also suits their job and their personality and what they're required to do. So remember, your attire will show the world your attitude about what job you're working and about your personality. Do your research. So before you go into interview for a new job, or before you start the first day of the new job, make sure you do your research on the company, guys. It doesn't hurt to go on Google and look up a little bit about their business, right? When you're going out to buy a new game, you do the same thing, right? You watch the trailers on YouTube, or you read reviews that the game creators have already put out before the game comes out, or that trial people have tried out, right? So make sure you do your research. Make sure you have a plan for what company it is you're going to. Make sure you have information about the company that you're going to interview at. Make sure you have information about that the company policies that you would probably need to know on the first day, if you possibly can get your hands on that. If not, it's good to at least go on Google so that you can at least find out the basics about what that company is about. All right, pick out your outfit the night before and iron clothes if necessary. Very important, especially for people who take like a good half an hour or an hour to pick out an outfit. If your interview is at 9 a.m., for example, you'll probably want to make sure that you have your outfit picked out the night before. If it's later in the afternoon, then yeah, for sure it'd be okay to pick it out in the morning. But hey, it doesn't hurt to be prepared the night before by having your outfit picked out, your clothes ironed, and everything prepared to go for the next day. Make sure the clothes you're wearing are clean and in good repair. So no mustard stains, no ketchup stains, right? You want to make sure that there's no food on your clothes. You want to make sure that there's no rips or tears in your jackets or in your jeans. Everything needs to look professional, both during the interview process, right? When you're going in, as well as when you start the job. It's very, very, very important that you follow the dress code in whatever position it is you have, or whatever position it is you're trying to acquire. So if you go in for the interview and the employer can see that you're neat and tidy in the interview, that means he probably will assume within that first 5 minutes of impression that, hey, this person's gonna at least follow my dress code if they start working here. They're gonna dress appropriately. They're not gonna have all of their clothes torn up or a mess all the time, right? So very important. Keep your shoes appropriate and don't wear sandals or flip-flops. Okay, so this is even a rule at my workplace, right? First off, if you have open-toe shoes, it can be a danger to yourself, right? Especially if you're going into a business that you didn't do some research about. But this is very important, why you need to do your research on what it is they expect and make sure you make sure you prepare accordingly, okay? So keep your shoes appropriate and don't wear sandals or flip-flops. It's very important to make sure that you're wearing comfortable shoes, but at least nice dress shoes or really nice sneakers. A pair of shoes that you wear for special occasions would be really nice when it comes to interview. First day of work would be a little bit different. You want to make sure that you're wearing you want to make sure that you're wearing work shoes that are appropriate for your work environment. So if, for example, at Lowe's, if you are somebody that works there, you need to have steel toe boots because you can't go into the back of the store without steel toes. And I'm pretty sure the same goes for Home Hardware and any other hardware stores in town. All right. Perfect. One more thing, guys. Check the company policy or ask to find out if they request you to remove outside wet or dirty footwear before coming in for the interview. That's really important as well, right? Because what if they say, oh, you know, we really don't want you wearing your muddy shoes into our office and you have an interview and you have no other shoes. Maybe just pack up an extra bag with extra indoor shoes, but it's also good to do your research to find out if they are one of those people, one of those businesses that say, please leave your dirty footwear at the front door. I know that at the spa in town, Totally Refreshed, they ask that you leave any dirty footwear at the front door before stepping into their establishment. So it really does depend on what kind of business you're applying for, what their rules are. Try to follow them. Make sure you do your research. Make sure you're prepared. Plan ahead. Prepare the night before for what it is you need to do, for what it is you need to say, for what it is you need to wear. Now, if you're not advised what to wear, how can you find out? You can check the website, guys. Is there a company book? Or do you know somebody that works there, right? You can find these things out. Like I said, check on the website. Look through the company book again. Ask somebody who works there. Maybe it's a friend of yours. Maybe it's somebody that you're just passing by who may know in the store what the requirements are. All right, question time. Excellent. So we have discussed some tips on planning ahead, but now I have a question for you all when it comes to doing so. If you aren't told what to wear at an interview or for the first day of the job, how can you find out? All right, you have 2 minutes. Starting now. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very good job. Excellent. You guys had a lot of great suggestions. Again, check the company website. Find out if there's a company book. And maybe you know someone there at the company you are applying at. You can ask a friend, right? Or maybe you can just ask one of the people that are walking around the store and who are in uniform and have maybe gone through the interview process, like while you're walking out after applying or something like that. Or if you already got the call for the interview, maybe just stopping by the location just to see what everybody is dressed like and try to dress around or above bar in that area. Okay? Lovely. The morning of. So we discussed what you need to do the night before your interview or on the first day of your new job. But what about the morning of? Well, we are going to discuss a few tips and reminders for preparing for the day before heading out for your big day. Okay. Shower the night before or the morning of the interview, okay? Make sure you're clean, make sure your skin is clean and you're smelling nice. If you were sweating the night before in bed, it's probably a good idea if you take a shower in the morning, even if you did take a shower the night before, right? Sometimes some of us do, and you know, when you get up, you're a bit sweatier and a bit smellier than you were when you went to bed. That's okay. It's really awesome if you get up early enough with enough time to get prepared for your interview that you head up in the shower. Next point, make sure you guys wake up early enough, right? Set your alarm the night before as well. It's very important that you guys do that. Set an alarm, make sure that you're ready and prepared for getting up, putting on your clothes, and doing all of the grooming the morning of before the interview. Wash your hair and your body, all right? Not all of us wash our hair the same way everybody else does, but do what you do on a regular morning to get completely professional, right? So wash your hair, wash your body, or comb your hair and wash your body, whatever works for you, but make sure that you're looking good and you're smelling fresh, okay? Put on deodorant. Always, always remember to put on deodorant. You know what? It just takes one mistake. Sometimes you walk out the door and you forget, right? But usually it just takes that, and then you remember, oh, I don't want to smell like that again. I should probably put on deodorant. Please be mindful that you'll be sitting in a room with somebody during an interview. So you want to be mindful of how you smell to them, as well as you are mindful of how they are smelling towards you. So make sure you put on deodorant, okay? Brush your teeth and floss. It is mandatory to have a clean mouth before going anywhere. Please make sure that your teeth are clean, guys. Please make sure that your breath is fresh as it possibly can be. If you want to throw some mouthwash in there like I do in the morning in my routine, do that too. I floss, brush, and mouthwash every morning. So if that's something that you feel would add that extra benefit on interview day or first job day, then do that. It's something that should be done every day, to be honest. Like, all of these things should be done every day, but especially before interview day or the first day of work, okay? Make sure your hair is neat, presentable, and clean. So again, back to the hair. If you're not washing it, make sure it's combed. If you've washed it, make sure you're either straightening it or making sure it's dried completely. So blow dry it out. Make sure you have enough time and you're getting up with enough time to be able to do all of these things to prepare yourself to go to your interview. There's a difference between a 9 a.m. interview and a 12 p.m. interview, right? You got more hours in the morning depending on whether it's 12 or if it's at 9, then you have less. So be very, very mindful, but make sure you look good. The point is you want to make sure you look good and you smell fresh. All right. If you're a smoker, chew gum before going in and take some hand wipes so your hands don't stink, right? Just in case you can't get to a bathroom to wash your hands before going in, make sure you have some wipes just in case. All right. Excuse me. Check your breath. Or if you have a friend, partner, or employment specialist with you, get them to check it for you. Take out facial piercings until you know the culture of the place you work as well. Okay? You never know what the vibe is going to be at a specific place. They may be okay with facial piercings, they may not. So make sure when you're going in for your interview, you remove that piercing. All right? Or at least wear like something clear to cover it or whatever you can do. But if you can wear none, that would be better. Okay, guys. Now I do have a video for you today on first impressions. This one is more first impressions in the job interview, but that's okay. First impressions we make every day. So this video will hopefully provide a few tips for you guys in regards to making that first impression. You never get a second chance to make a first impression when you meet someone. The most important part of the job is at the very beginning, guys, as it sets the tone for the whole interview and your first day on the job. Remember how you look gives off nonverbal cues, and good effort creates a good first impression. So, now that I've said that and given that introduction, we are going to watch a video on first impressions in the workplace. Just give it a second. There we go.
Hey everyone, this is Self-Made Millennial. I'm Madeline Mann, and today you'll learn the top tips for how to make a good first impression in a job interview. You'll learn some things about your appearance, how you dress, that you'll be judged on big time, and how to overcome it. And the key to making that initial small talk impactful. I am so lucky to be not doing this alone. Sarah Johnston joins me. If you don't know Sarah, she is a big deal. She is a former corporate recruiter who went rogue, and she took her insider knowledge and started Briefcase Coach to partner with job seekers to coach them to success. And do stay to the end, because Sarah flips the interview on me, and I end up sharing some of the things that I did in a recent job interview to make that first impression that made a big difference. Let's go. Hey Sarah, so great to have you on Self-Made Millennial today.
I'm so excited to be here. I've been a big fan, so I'm honored to be asked.
Yes, and this topic is one we haven't covered yet, which is how to make a good first impression in a job interview, which is so crucial. And I know that there are lots of, there's lots of talk about how important a first impression is, but what have you seen out there in, interviews or in the research that really confirms that?
Yeah, so there's a really interesting stat. Psychological science tells us that people form decisions about others in 1/10 of a second. 1/10 of a second, I know. Crazy. And so you've got to consider that when you are approaching an interview. Additionally, there was some research done by Monster.uk, and they interviewed hiring managers across the board and found that 1/3 of hiring managers at all levels decided whether or not they were going to hire a candidate based on the first 5 minutes of an interview.
And so then what are some of the ways we can make that really amazing impression in the first 5 minutes or 30 seconds or all of that?
First is how you come across. You have to be really aware of the way that you look and the way that you're presenting yourself. And it has to be catered towards the different office settings. So I've got on some fun, long earrings. I probably wouldn't wear these to a bank interview. I'd probably dress pretty conservatively in a suit, maybe some little pearl earrings, and I might have my hair pulled back or in a very traditional style. You would maybe dress differently if you were interviewing for a startup position. And so just being aware of your audience, doing research on the environment that they're in, can be really helpful for making a first impression.
It almost seems like you're in the in crowd or in the out crowd if you're dressed very differently from everyone else in the office. And I don't even think that there's some sort of rule of like, you must be very formal, you must be very casual, because, I've seen in startup environments, if someone walks in a suit, they think, oh, is that a lawyer or an accountant? They don't think, oh, are they, coming to interview for a marketing role? And so it's not them trying to, be super biased. It's just something that happens in the back of their head.
You are so right. When you are different than other people, you stand out in a way that sometimes isn't the way that you want to stand out. It's totally acceptable to email the recruiter and say, I'm really looking forward to this interview. What's the attire like at the office? Or what will the hiring manager, what's the day-to-day attire like? And they'll give you some clues. They'll say, we're pretty business casual here. That being said, I think you should always dress just a nudge above, just a little bit above what other people in the office are wearing, just so that you're putting your best foot forward.
Yeah, I totally hear that. And so we have like our perfect interview outfit set up. And so then how do we then walk into the interview, and then when we start to talk, what are some of the ways we can really make a big impact?
I always start with research. And I'm an extrovert. I can make small talk with a wall. But before I go into a job interview or an important meeting, I always do research on the other person just to know what they're about so that I can make meaningful, targeted small talk with that person and build rapport. So I'll go online and I'll Google them. I'll see if they've written any articles, if they've been in any blogs lately. I'll look at where they went to college. Maybe we have that in common. So I think it's always great to look for commonalities. I know that you recently went through a job search yourself. Tell me about how you prepared for that process.
Yeah, so LinkedIn is a beautiful thing. Usually companies would give me the list of people who I was interviewing with, but sometimes I would ask and they would be like, absolutely, here are their names. And so I would look them up, and I think for every position, every person, I would like write down their title. I'd write down how long they had been at the company. That one was such an easy, you just started 3 months ago, or, you've been here for 4 years. How have things changed? Like that has been like very, very easy one to just show that I did a bit of research, but not really have to come up with a very complicated question. I noticed if they had lived, like if one of their jobs was in a city that I'd lived in, I brought that up. So I would kind of just pick out these little things, and they weren't that like deep of I didn't have to really research very deeply, but there was just a little tiny connection between each of them, and it made it so much easier to start a conversation.
Yeah. So you look for common ground, you look for commonalities. And if you're not able to find anything online, I think looking around their office is a simple way to do that. So you get in their office, and maybe you notice that they've got a skyline of a city that's not the city that you're in. So that's a great conversation piece. Oh, I see that you have the St. Louis Arch in your background. Did you live in St. Louis for a while? I did too. Talking about that. Or you could see that they've got plants in their office, and you could say, you've got to tell me the secret to keeping plants alive. Such a green thumb. And that gets people talking about something that they're passionate about.
I love that. I actually noticed that people just appreciate you just striking up conversation. Like they almost are grateful for it, because those first few moments are so kind of awkward and vulnerable that if you're someone who's just willing to kind of just jump in and make observations and make small talk, people are so grateful that they don't have to do that heavy lifting.
100%. When I was recruiting, there were days where I had 8 interviews back to back, and it felt exhausting. And for someone just to say, hey, Sarah, thanks so much for meeting with me. How is your day going? You look busy. That was so refreshing.
Well, this has been so amazing, Sarah. Thank you so much for all these tips. And so I know you have a ton of amazing materials to help all kinds of people, job seekers and professionals. So where can we find you?
Thanks for asking. I'm on LinkedIn, and I post a job search tip almost every day, so you can find me there. But also,
really good tips.
Thank you. Also on my website, my website is www.briefcasecoach.com, and you can sign up for my newsletter. It's a complete labor of love for me. It's once a month, and it's a lot of great free job search tips and resources out there. So thanks again for the opportunity to be on your show.
Yes, thank you so much. And Wi-Fi high five.
Woo!
All right, guys, that was pretty good. Hey, few good tips. Nothing too intense, nothing too grand. Let me just close that. There we go. And we're back. So let me just make sure. Good. Okay. Moving on. Oh, let me fix my screen. So question time, guys. It is question time. Awesome. The video we just watched provided us with some tips on how to make a good first impression in a job interview. So I have a question for you guys. What are some of the tips mentioned throughout the video on first impressions? You have 2 minutes starting now. Five, four, three, two, and one. Great job, you guys. Now let's review the tips that were mentioned throughout. So, impressions are made in the first 5 minutes of meeting. So a lot of your time, a lot of your effort into this part is important, okay? Be aware of how you are presenting yourself. Dress up for the industry you are interviewing for. So the industry is meaning retail. If you're gonna go and apply at a clothing store, make sure you're dressed professionally. Make sure you're dressed like how the people in the clothing store dress, right? If you're gonna go in there in sweats and stuff, they're probably not gonna hire you. If you're going onto a construction site, no, you don't have to be completely fancy, but jeans and a dress shirt wouldn't hurt, right? Going into an interview to work on a construction site. If you're going to work in a fast food restaurant, same there. You know, a nice dress pants, nice dress shirt, right? Especially if you're going in for a server position. If you're going in for a dishwasher position, it doesn't hurt to also wear nice jeans, nice shirt to the interview, right? So, also dress better than everyone in that environment if possible. So if you're looking around, you went in to apply to that store or to that restaurant or to that business and you noticed, oh, okay, I see how everybody's dressing around here. Try to one up that. Try to dress one level above that for the interview for the first day, just so that you're on top of your game. Research the company to learn some information about them. Now, this has been mentioned multiple times during our conversations, guys. Please, please, please do research on the companies. For those of you who I've created cover letters for, you already know that in your cover letter, there is a section where you are supposed to put information that you researched about the company. Now, it can be two sentences that you read through, thought those were good, and copy and paste it from the website. If there's a personal experience that you've had at that store that you also want to write about when you're talking about a company that you're going to apply for, feel free to do that too. It doesn't hurt. Try to have small talk in the first few minutes to find commonality, something you can relate to the interviewer about, right? So, oh, you see a plant in the office, oh, that's a lovely plant, I garden too, or I have plants in my home too, or you see a nice picture on the wall, oh, what's that picture of? Or, oh, if it's a picture of a place, I've been there, right? Just try to have a little bit of small talk, right? You want to try to engage your interviewer and keep them interested. Within the first 5 minutes, that's when they're watching you the most. So that's where you want to put your most effort into showing your personality and who you are. All right, guys. Almost done. Just 2 more slides and then we'll cut off for today. Sorry for going over today, but you know what? Every once in a while is okay. So, no. We are going to talk about the no-nos of attending an interview or first day of work. Let's get into it. Stay away from denim. So, I was wrong there. I thought you could wear a nice pair of jeans, but they suggest here, you know, dress pants is usually okay. And actually, nope, I take that back. Nice denim, if it's dressy, if it's dark blue, right, usually is a really, really good color to take into wear in an interview or even the first day of work, unless they require that you wear black dress pants like some places do, quite a few places do. But if you guys can avoid it, just stay away from denim. Just wear dress pants if you have it. If you don't have it and you are interested in getting some, talk to your employment specialist. There's some resources out there that will be able to provide you on our Facebook page in regards to looking for interview clothes, right? So absolutely, if you need some support in looking for some clothes, you don't want to spend a lot of money, you're looking for something really cheap and really quick, maybe even free, hit us up so that we can help you, okay? All right. Baggy pants that show underwear, guys. That's, you know, that's an automatic no-no. Baggy pants or tight pants that show your underwear or your butt crack should not be worn to an interview setting, should not be worn anywhere, right? Make sure whatever you're wearing is covering all of your areas. Make sure whatever pants you're wearing, it has a belt on it, okay? Do not wear sneakers, right? Try to wear some nice dress shoes if you have them, okay? If your sneakers are really dressy or they're all black, those are okay too. Not everybody has everything in this world, right? Do the best you can. But if you have another pair of shoes that are nice enough to go out for interviews and stuff, don't wear the sneakers, wear something else. Do not wear sandals or open-toe shoes. Now this is for multiple reasons. For one, if you're already working in the job, say you start the first day of this job and it's a job where you have to have heel-toe boots, right? Or you're just required to wear closed-toed shoes. Yeah, it wouldn't be good if you were wearing open-toe shoes. So it's really good practice to not wear open-toe shoes or sandals when you're going in for an interview or even on your first day of work. You know, usually they want you to be wearing something that's going to be realistic for the job that you're going to be doing. Do not wear strong or offensive perfume or cologne. You guys know how it goes when it comes to scents, right? You don't want to have somebody have an allergic reaction, which some people can. You don't want somebody to be like, whoa, that's too strong, I don't think we can do this interview today. Or, ooh, that you're helping a customer and they're like, wow, that's very powerful and overpowering stuff that you're wearing, right? You know, just, you know, soap, water. This is why you bathe in the morning. This is why you get showered and cleaned up, so that the natural smell of you is just clean. Okay. Heels that clack. No clickety clack heels. Those can be a little bit annoying for interview day and sometimes even on the job. I try to not wear clickety clack shoes if I can avoid it. That doesn't always happen in my job, but hey. Wrinkled shirts. Wrinkled shirts, make sure you iron or steam your clothes, right? Make sure that everything is not wrinkled, right? Sometimes I end up wearing something wrinkled, but I'm either wearing a jacket over it or I'm making sure I iron it the day before or even the morning of work. Do not wear t-shirts with offensive graphics. So this, guys, includes t-shirts or shirts that have political statements, religious affiliations, or crude sayings or jokes, okay? And make sure you wear socks and underwear. Always important when it comes to the first day of an interview, right? Or the first day of work, or when you're going in for an interview, you know, maybe even when you're just going outside, it's just important to wear those things. Okay. All right, guys, grooming. Grooming. Very important. So now that we've discussed the no-nos of preparing for your interview or first day work, we can now move on to grooming. Your nails should be clean, okay? Yeah, just make sure your nails are clean. There's a lot of people that I see with a lot of dirty nails. If your nails are looking dirty the night before, make sure you just give them a clip, or make sure you're clearing out the insides of them from whatever dirt you may have picked up during the day. Ladies, keep your nails short if possible, with none or clear polish. No excessively long or polished nails. Okay, that's more so for when you're in the job already. Kidding. Neat hairdo or fresh haircut. Always important to make sure that your hair is looking good, that your hair is freshly cut, right? That you're looking professional. Remove piercings from your face. Okay, if you have piercings in your face, again, guys, just remove them for the interview. Put a clear stud in or something like that if you can, but it's okay to just remove it for the interview for a few hours. It won't affect anything with you physically, so just do it. It won't hurt. Jewelry is fine as long as it is modest. So don't wear huge earrings and thick chains, okay? You don't have to go overboard when you're wearing your jewelry. A little bit of this, a little bit of that is good enough. You know, one piece here, a couple of earrings there, that should be good enough. Make sure you follow the dress code after you get the job. It's really important that you make sure that you follow dress code after you get the job, and it's also you also want to make sure that you're prepared when you're going in for the interview, okay? Your face, for gentlemen, face should be clean shaven or beard trimmed or mustache trimmed, okay? For some jobs, it is required that you have no facial hair at all once you start, right? Once you start working. So make sure that you're aware of this, right? This is why it's really good to find out what the company policies are as soon as you possibly can before your first day, so that you know how you're supposed to come to work as a new worker there in the interview. It doesn't hurt to ask these questions too, especially if you're somebody who likes to keep a beard. All right, you guys, thank you so much for indulging me in my 45-minute workshop video today. We're going to be doing some changes in regards to workshop, which we will be discussing with you upcoming later this week. So this is a really good time for us to kind of start making that shift. So that's kind of what I'm doing today by stretching out my video by quite a bit. So we will see you. I put see you on next time. We will see you next time for our next workshop. Again, guys, thanks for joining us today. We are always happy to have all of you participating with us every week. Please join us for the discussion afterwards, as usual, right? We are going to have our discussion right after this, and we really would like to see you guys participating way more. We would like to have more than 3 to 5 people message in the comments. You guys, if you guys feel uncomfortable commenting under our Let's Talk post, then you can just comment to us through text. We can also talk to you that way as well, right? Just try to join the discussion or answer the question after the video if you possibly can. We really appreciate it, and it gives us a chance to let us know what you guys learned from the workshop and if it was helpful to you. Also, please join us for, of course, the next workshop, either coming up on this Thursday or the following Tuesday. Again, like I said, we are changing the format of how we do workshops, so things may look a little bit differently for the next week or two. And guys, remember, please like our video after you have watched it. This is the best proof we have of you all having watched the videos we post, if you aren't joining us during the watch party, okay? So for those of you who have made previous arrangements with your staff about letting us know when you have watched the workshops, please continue to do what is planned for you specifically, all right? I am gone for the rest of the week, you guys, so I hope you guys have a great rest of your week and a great weekend. Again, thank you for joining me today. It's always a pleasure to have you guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.